Hi everyone, welcome to another game from round 2 of the British Championships. In this epic series, this game will see two new players, WhiteElo 2170 FIDE and Anthony Kosten, Grandmaster of 2458 FIDE, and the author of a very good Nms Indian book which I have, on where it basically explains all the pawn structures of the Nims though, and like you got like the Leningrad, the Queen C2, and all that. It's like the different like centers, the IQP one, the Dutch one, the Queensland Pawn Majority. It's just a really good book. And then most of all, Nims Indian players. And he's been living in France a lot recently, it seems. And he's very booked up on his openings. And he's part of their chess publishing site. WhiteElo was white, Tony Kosten was black. E1 E4 was chosen by white, and we actually get a very like weird opening for board 13 of the main British Championship, which you won't usually see this opening. E5, Nf3 Nc6, Bc4 Bc5, and white decides to play the Evans Gambit, which is, in my opinion, very interesting, but not completely sound. White is basically giving away his wing pawn in return to gain some tempo to build a centre with c3 and d4, and there is plenty of chances to like get the queen out to b3 and attack f7, and all sorts of nasties can happen. And the best way to refute gambit is to accept it, so bishop takes b4 was played, c3, and now the bishop, or the black can either move his bishop to several squares. There is bishop a5. White should play his d4, and if black takes, white just castles and ignores it and tries to pile up quickly with queen b3. And so black's best is probably to play d6. And if answer queen b3 by queen d7, or do you play queen e7? Queen d7 is best, yeah. Queen d7, you know, blocks the bishop in. And after castles, play bishop b6, threatening knight a5 to nab the important bishop. And then is to play bishop c5, d4, takes, not with a knight, that's a bit stupid. Bishop b4, try and get piece exchanges. Bishop d2, and it's like queen e7, it's okay for black. Or another choice is e takes d4, white will probably just actually castle. And knight f6 will be answered by e5. So, and I don't think black should take the pawn on c3. So I think black should maybe give it back with d3, just to slow down white's development. So you have the queen takes d3, knight f6, and maybe e5, d5 something. Could be quite interesting. But black chooses bishop e7, which is basically a solid line where black is going to give white the pawn back, but white will have to surrender the bishop pair in this line. So d4 was played. Now knight a5, and usually white will take this pawn with the knight, and black gets rid of white's bishop. And then we have an interesting game where white has to try and prove he's got enough play in return for the two bishops, even though it's equal material. And he probably does have enough with a strong centre. But white plays bishop back to d3. Now black gives the pawn back with d6, and then with takes, knight takes, and knight f6, and both sides castle. And this position is quite interesting because white has a weak pawn on c3, but white has more development of space in return. So it's probably dynamically equal. Queen c2 was played, which is a bit strange, putting the queen behind a bishop, which is behind the pawn, which is biting on granite. But white wants to quickly switch his book across to the d file. c5 was played. I'm not entirely sure what that move does. Probably c4 to try and get the bishop off that pawn. Knight d2 was played to prevent c4 and get the piece into game. Queen to c7, f4 to support the knight. And white is now starting to get a very good position. Now black decides to play b6 because he wants to bring his knight back, maybe to b7 or something. And now knight e4, which just seems a bit strange to swap the knight off that's on the edge of the board. Knight c4, knight bishop c4, bishop b7, knight e5, which hits the knight and drives it from its defensive position. Queen c6 was played as an intermezzo to force white to do something about the mate threat. The knight blocks, and now black has a nice e4 square for the knight, so that's quite a nice play. Rook e1 to attack the knight, rook a d8, and bishop d3 is played. An alternative was to play f5 and try and get an attack going with these pawns, but I'm not sure it's going to work, that's the problem. But maybe white has a chance to play an e6 in this position and try to smash open black's king position that way. But after bishop d3, in this position, black plays a very good move, and if you want to try and spot it, please stop the video now. In this position, Tony Kosten sacrifices the exchange of rook takes d3, and there's a lot of points behind this. First of all, another point is if the knight moves anywhere, well, the knight is actually trapped. So actually, the move is actually forced. But after queen takes d3, and this must have all been planned because now black plays c4, queen c2, knight c5, and black has a very good compensation for the exchange. Black in return has a knight outpost on d3. All his pieces have come alive. Our white's dangerous bishop has been removed from the board, and black has very good grip on the light squares. Overall, my silicon friend gives black enough compensation, or white has a very small advantage. And of course, my silicon friend is notoriously materialistic, so rook takes d3 was a very good move by black. Now the knight comes into d4 with tempo. It's actually quite hard to see, apart from the knight in d3, it's quite hard to see black's compensation. I find it difficult as well. I mean, I find a lot of things in chess difficult, but still. Queen c7, rook e2, so white wants to get the e line. The knight comes into his octopus square, which can never be disposed of. Bishop e3, bishop c5, rook f1, queen d7. So maybe trying to get queen d5 and then try and get suppression on g2 or something. Now again, f5 or e6 seem quite good. In fact, e6 seems quite interesting. Say queen d5 and then ef7, rook f7, rook f3. But again, this knight is a massive problem. This knight is just a bone in white's throat. a4 was played instead for some reason. Queen g4, so the queen's getting active. And of course, Nevin's gambit player is not going to want to be defending. h3 to attack the queen, but at cost of weakening g3. King h2 to control g3. Queen e4, very nice centralisation. Very instructive this. By a very strong player. Now queen a2 is an interesting move by white. Could have tried trying to get rid of the c4 pawn, but black can just play queen d5. And maybe white can move his queen back to c2, and then maybe black can have to take a repetition or something. But bishop g1 was played for some reason, discovering an attack on the queen, which moves back to d5. Knight f5, so white's got his own nice knight, but there was so much pressure in the white position. Queen back to d7 was played, which is not a very good move actually. Better was bishop g takes g1, which seems weird trying to swap pieces off when down, but after king takes g1, front this check. King h2 and then something like rook d8 gives black good compensation. A queen d7 was played, and now bishop c5, knight c5 and knight d6. And now white has got his very nice knight as well, that's supported and can never be kicked away. So now it's just starting to look like a very nice position for white, even though black can win a pawn back on a4 potentially. But not yet, of course, because knight takes b7. So I think black's messed up now and white's better. The knight was, sorry, bishop c6 was played to attack the pawn again. I know that's a bad move as well. White should have just played knight takes. Oh, in fact, white should have just played the best move is just to try and attack with F5 actually, which White could have played numerous times this game and never actually did. If knight a bishop a4, then we just move the queen to a nice attacking square, and if knight d3, but f6. All of a sudden black's going to come under massive attack, because there is so many threats now of fg7 and queen to g5. In fact, queen g5 is a serious threat. So black almost certainly has to take it, which opens his king up, and then white plays the crushing move, knight e4, which threatens to win by fork, and the queen's going to come into h6 and it's all over. So after f5, black has to be very careful and probably has to play something like f6 to block it, which also undermines a knight. And now white cannot take because his knight's on proves with check. So he probably has to defend his knight with rook d1 or something. In fact, I think white will have rejected f5 because of f6. But now white, I think, he just played knight takes c4 in this position, or this move queen a2 to take advantage of the pawn going with check. King h8, play knight takes c4, knight takes a4. Then it's queen d2, and white should be almost winning this. Queen f5 was played instead, which offers a queen swap, but then black gets the pawn back, and black still has compensation for the exchange. Rook a1, a5. Black has got a potential dangerous pass pawn. Knight goes back to its good square. Bishop c6. f5, white finally plays it, but with the queens off. Not good. Rook d8, rook e3. Bishop d5. Rook b1. f6, so white, which is actually a very bad move. Black should have played a4 and tried to push his pawn down to touchdown. After rook takes, again rook takes b6, a3. This pawn's getting very dangerous. Rook e1 to try and stop it, and then black should play something like this. Is actually looking quite bad as well. If we go back, in fact a4 is not good either. In fact, in this position black's actually in trouble. Yeah, black's messed this up. But he played f6, actually turns out to be the best try, but white actually played e6, which is very logical, but is actually a very bad move. White instead should just have took on b6. After fe5, just rook b5, skewering the pieces. After rook takes d6, rook takes c5. White is massively on top, where black's going to drop his a pawn, and white can try and win an exchange up. e6, rook d6, e7. It wins the piece back, but after all the complications, rook b1, I think white miscalculated when playing 4 to e6 in this position. He probably thought this was mating black, but sadly black has a defense. Rook d7. After rook h8, rook a7, the players agree to redraw, and the evaluation is not. So an interesting game where white played the rather dubious Evans gambit, but got a very good position. Black did a very good exchange sack, but then folded up wrong, and white missed several good chances to produce black's counterplay and possibly win the game and cause a massive shock, because this is a non-titled via Grandmaster. But a draw is still a very impressive result for a 2170 draw against a very strong GM. But he's not quite as strong as he was, but he's still 2458, and shows that sometimes risky openings can provide good rewards. And it's just that miscalculation at the end spoilt it. But I hope you enjoyed this game, and please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.